Have you ever felt like those classic D&D multi-class combos are a little too predictable? You know, like everyone's going for the Paladin Warlock or the Fighter Wizard.
Yeah.
And you just crave something a little more unique. I was thinking about this because in our last campaign, my Halfling Rogue, she's super sneaky.
Okay.
Great with traps.
Yeah.
She was facing off against this massive ogre.
Oh, wow.
In a crumbling temple. It was very like classic David and Goliath.
Right.
And I managed to outmaneuver him for a while.
Oh, God. Okay.
Eventually, like, raw power was just going to win out.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, if only I had just a little bit of barbarian rage right now.
That's the moment you realize you gotta multi-class.
Exactly.
That's what's so cool about multi-classing, though.
Yeah.
It lets you break the mold, build characters that really defy expectations.
Yeah.
And speaking of defying expectations, we have this awesome article from LitRPG Reads by Paul Bello. It's called D&D Class Combos Nobody Talks About, But Should. All about those under-the-radar multi-class builds that pack a serious punch.
Okay, I am so ready. What's the first combo that caught your eye?
Well, this one immediately grabbed me because I actually tried something similar in a recent game. Artillerist Artificer.
Oh.
Evocation Wizard.
Okay.
Now, you might think 2 spellcasters isn't that a bit redundant?
Yeah.
But trust me, the synergy here is insane.
Okay, I listen.
In my game, I flavored it as this eccentric gnome inventor who discovered a way to infuse his gadgets with raw elemental magic. It was all about tactical explosions, creating these shockwaves and blasts of fire that could control the battlefield.
So we're not talking about your average fireball, and forget wizard here.
No.
This is using explosions strategically.
Yeah, exactly. The Artillerist's arcane firearm essentially turns your spells into magical artillery, adding extra damage and range.
Wow.
And then you have the Evocation Wizard's Sculpt Spells ability, allowing you to shape those blasts to protect your allies while obliterating your enemies.
So you're saying I can basically create a safe zone in the middle of like a chaotic explosion.
Yes.
That's some next level battlefield control.
It is pretty awesome. Imagine you're facing a horde of goblins. A wall of fire erupts.
Yeah.
But your allies are standing unharmed in a perfectly sculpted gap.
Oh, that's brutal.
Talk about demoralizing for the enemy.
Okay, next up we've got the Battlesmith Artificer Swords Bard.
Okay.
This one sounds like it's got a bit of everything magic, music, melee combat.
It does.
What's the secret sauce here?
This combo really turns the Steel Defender into something special.
Okay.
You're not just summoning a pet, you're crafting a mobile tank that can protect your allies and dish out some serious damage.
So it's like having a loyal bodyguard who can also rock out with the loot.
Pretty much.
I love it.
Think of it as a warrior poet who can inspire their allies with soaring melodies.
Okay.
While also laying down some sick beats with their sword.
I like where this is going. So it's not just about fighting prowess, it's about weaving the magic and music into your combat style.
Exactly. You've got your rapier in one hand, casting spells with the other.
Right.
All while your skilled defender is drawing aggro and providing tactical support.
Wow.
It's all about synergy and finding that sweet spot between offense and support.
All right, let's move on to a combo that's calling out to my inner daredevil.
Okay.
The Storm Barbarian Swashbuckler Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
This just screams high-energy chaos.
Oh, absolutely. This build is all about being a whirlwind of elemental fury and deadly finesse.
Yeah.
Imagine yourself as a storm, unpredictable, unstoppable, leaving a trail of destruction in your wake.
I'm already picturing it charging into battle, lightning crackling around me, taking down enemies with lightning-fast strikes before they even know what hit them.
Yeah.
What makes this combo tick?
The key is the interplay between the Storm Herald's disruptive auras and the Swashbuckler's mobility and sneak attack.
Okay.
You're basically a chaotic source of nature disrupting your enemies while darting in and out of combat, landing those critical hits.
So it's not just about raw strength. It's about using the environment and your agility to your advantage.
Right. Think about a stormy battlefield. You're weaving through driving rain and flashes of lightning. Your enemies are off balance, and you're taking full advantage of the chaos to deliver those devastating sneak attacks.
I bet this is one of those builds that's super fun to roleplay too.
Oh, for sure.
It's got that swagger, that sense of daring and unpredictability.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got?
This next one is for those who like to lurk in the shadows. The Way of Shadows Monk Rogue.
Oh.
Picture this. You're a character who can melt into the darkness.
Okay.
Striking with lethal precision before disappearing without a trace.
Ooh. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Right.
This sounds perfect for players who love stealth and intrigue.
It is.
What are some of the key abilities that make this combo shine?
It's all about leveraging Shadow Step and Sneak Attack.
Okay.
You're teleporting behind enemies, delivering those massive damage blows, and then vanishing before they can react.
That's some serious ninja-level stuff.
It is.
It's like playing a deadly game of cat and mouse, except the mouse is a master of illusion and martial arts.
Exactly. You're not a brute force brawler. You're a master of deception.
Yeah.
Using the environment and your shadowy powers to your advantage.
Okay, on to our final combo for this part of the deep dive. The Battlemaster Fighter path of the Totem Warrior Barbarian.
Nice.
I'm sensing the theme here. Lots of rage and battlefield control.
Yeah, I gotta have it.
What makes this one stand out?
This build is all about raw power and unyielding resilience, a true force of nature that can weather any storm.
Yeah.
The Battlemaster's maneuvers provide tactical control, while the Barbarian's rage fuels your ferocity and resilience.
This sounds like the kind of character who leads the charge, roaring into battle with a strength that inspires their allies and terrifies their enemies.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Imagine a battle-scarred warrior standing firm against a wave of enemies, their rage echoing across the battlefield.
Oh, wow.
Pushing their allies to fight with renewed vigor.
All right, so we've got tactical explosions, a warrior poet, a chaotic storm, a master of shadows, and a primal leader.
I love it.
That's quite a lineup. Before we go on to part 2 of this deep dive,
Okay.
let's pause for a moment to let these incredible multi-class builds really sink in.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. I am still reeling from those incredible multi-class combinations.
Me too. It's amazing how these seemingly unusual pairings can create such unique and powerful characters.
It really highlights how multiclassing isn't just about maximizing your stats or finding the most overpowered build.
Right.
It's about expanding your options, creating a character that truly embodies your vision, and maybe even surprising yourself along the way.
Yeah, and that's what makes this article from LitRPG Reads so inspiring.
Totally.
Paul Bello really dives into the why behind these combos,
Yeah.
not just the how.
I think that's what makes a deep dive like this so valuable. We could just list off multi-class combinations all day, but
Yeah.
understanding the thought process behind those choices, the potential for role-playing and storytelling, that's what really elevates your game.
Speaking of elevating your game,
Okay.
let's revisit that Battlemaster Fighter path of the Totem Warrior Barbarian. We talked about its raw power and battlefield presence.
Yeah.
But there's another layer to this build that's worth exploring: leadership.
Now, leadership isn't something I'd normally associate with a raging barbarian.
Right.
But I'm intrigued, how does that play out in this multi-class?
Think about it. The Battlemaster has a toolkit of maneuvers that can support their allies,
Okay.
like goading attack to draw enemy attention, or commander's strike to boost a teammate's attack.
Okay, that's starting to make sense. So they're not just a damage sponge, they're actively shaping the flow of battle
Yeah,
and creating opportunities for their allies.
precisely. And then you combine that tactical awareness with the barbarian's indomitable spirit and ferocity.
Right.
They're not just leading by example, they're inspiring those around them to fight harder, to push beyond their limits.
You know, it's funny because when we first started talking about this combo, I pictured this lone warrior fueled by rage just smashing through enemies.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing this whole other dimension, a leader who rallies their companions, who embodies that unwavering strength in the face of adversity.
And that's what's so cool about multiclassing. It challenges our preconceived notions about the classes and opens up all these possibilities for character development and storytelling.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk a bit about the challenges of multiclassing.
Okay.
Because it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
Right.
There are potential downsides to spreading your abilities across multiple classes.
You're right. It's easy to get excited about combining different abilities and end up with a character that's a jack of all trades but a master of none.
Yeah.
You might be able to do a little bit of everything, but you're not excelling in any one area.
So what's the key to avoiding that trap? How do you make sure your multi-class character is greater than the sum of their parts?
Careful planning is crucial.
Okay.
It's not enough to just pick two classes that sound cool together. You have to think about how their abilities complement each other.
Right.
How they work together to create a cohesive whole.
So it's not just about adding, it's about multiplying. You're looking for those synergies that amplify your strengths and compensate for any weaknesses.
Exactly. And sometimes the best multi-class combinations are the ones that seem counterintuitive at first glance.
Okay.
We talked about the Battlesmith Artificer Swords Bard earlier.
Right.
And that's a great example.
On the surface, those classes don't seem like an obvious pairing.
Yeah.
But when you dig deeper, you see how the Steel Defender becomes this mobile platform for both combat and support,
Right.
and how the bard's abilities enhance both the artificer's inventions and their own fighting prowess.
That's what makes multiclassing so rewarding. It's about experimenting, thinking outside the box, and discovering those hidden gems that can transform your gameplay.
And it's not just about mechanics and optimization. It's about bringing your character to life, creating a unique identity that reflects your playstyle and your creative vision.
You know, this whole conversation reminds me of a quote from the LitRPG Reads article.
Okay.
The most memorable D&D characters are often the ones who break the mold, who defy expectations, and who forge their own paths.
I love that, and that's exactly what multiclassing allows you to do.
Yeah.
It gives you the freedom to craft a character that's truly your own, a hero or anti-hero that stands apart from the crowd.
And that's a powerful message both in the game and in life. Don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things, to combine seemingly disparate elements and see what happens.
It's all about embracing those possibilities, pushing those creative boundaries, and discovering the magic that happens when you dare to be different.
Yeah.
We've talked about the power of multiclass and the creative freedom it unlocks, and even some of the challenges to watch out for.
Right.
But I feel like there's one thing we haven't really talked about yet, and it's something I personally struggle with: finding those hidden gem multiclasses in the first place.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. There are literally hundreds of possible class combinations in D&D.
Right.
Sifting through all of those options can be overwhelming, especially for newer players.
It's like you're at this massive buffet with all these delicious-looking dishes.
Yeah.
You don't know where to even begin.
It's easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing, or to gravitate towards those classic combinations that are tried and true.
Right.
But that's where you might miss out on those truly unique and unexpected builds.
So how do we break out of that mindset? How do we start thinking outside the box and discovering those hidden gem multiclasses that really speak to our creative vision?
I think it starts with asking yourself some key questions.
Okay.
What kind of character do you want to play? What's their personality? What are their goals?
Yeah.
What kind of play style do you enjoy?
Okay.
Once you have a clear picture of your character concept, then you can start exploring class options that might fit that vision.
So it's not just about picking classes based on their mechanics or like their perceived power level.
No.
It's about finding those combinations that resonate with your character's story and personality.
Right. For example, let's say you want to play a character who's both a cunning spellcaster and a skilled warrior.
Okay.
You could go for the classic Eldritch Knight Fighter route.
Right.
But maybe there's a more unconventional option that better fits your vision.
Like maybe a Hexblade Warlock College of Swords Bard.
Exactly.
You're channeling dark magic through your weapon, inspiring your allies with battle hymns, and weaving spells into your melee attacks.
It's about finding those unexpected synergies that make your character feel truly unique, and don't be afraid to experiment.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most interesting multi-class builds come from those what-if moments where you try something completely different and discover a hidden gem.
And that's where resources like this article from LitRPG Reads come in handy.
For sure.
They shine a spotlight on those often overlooked combinations and give you a starting point for your own explorations.
Absolutely. A huge shout out to Paul Bello for sharing his insights,
Yeah.
inspiring us to think outside the box.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of D&D multiclassing.
I know, right?
Hopefully we've sparked your imagination and given you some tools for creating your own unforgettable characters.
Yeah.
But the conversation doesn't end here.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you. What are some of your favorite multi-class combinations?
Yeah.
What hidden gems have you discovered?
Let us know.
Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this discussion going.
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe your ideas will inspire the next generation of D&D multiclassing masters.